Good morning and welcome to Other Realm Studio. Normally I don't do this in the morning. I am really sleepy right now, but I have coffee and things will be alright. Oh yes, I am Paula. I am the creator of Soulbound, which is my new comic series coming out very soon. Pre-orders are available now on Kickstarter. I'll put the link in the comments eventually. And today what we're doing is shading the bonus material for the new comic. We funded early on the first day, so everyone is definitely going to get their copy. I can definitely get the print run made. And I'm also having a few extra pages drawn up as we speak. Well, I don't know, maybe not. I hope my artist is actually getting enough sleep these days, because I know I'm not. So let's see, I'm going to cast a little bit more of a shadow over here on this shoulder. I really could do some more texture work. Yeah, so I did a live stream when I got started on this one last night, and I didn't get nearly as far with it as I wanted to. I was a little bit tense because my computer had decided to misbehave and wreak havoc and chaos. And I had to restart everything, and I was really scared that I had lost all my progress on it because I'd done another page. Which page was it? Oh, yes, I'd done all the shading on this page. And I was concerned that maybe it hadn't saved because I couldn't get it to save before I had to force a shutdown. Isn't that fun? But as it turned out, it did restore, and we're fine now, I think. I'm pretty sure that all the changes that I had made to that version are still there. Which I hope so. I worked pretty hard on that. And doing the colors on something like this it's a pretty painstaking process. See, I don't really like the way the yellows turn out in the light grayish because they look a little bit green. So let me go one up. I'm going to zoom in on this fur trim up here and do a little bit of texture detail. Now I would like to check and see if anyone's following along on Facebook. But my tablet is not behaving right now either. That one's... there it is. Okay, back to work. It's all work, but back to visible work. So there's only 2 days left. 2 days. Oh goodness, no. 2 weeks left on the Kickstarter campaign, and I was thinking, since at this late date I have heard from a few people that they just don't like Kickstarter. Alright, fine. I did ask before I started a campaign what was a good platform. And I didn't want to get too complicated and run a bunch of campaigns on different platforms. But it is kind of looking like I will be running another one for pre-orders on Indiegogo. So if you prefer Indiegogo and you haven't backed the campaign on Kickstarter, I will have that up today, most likely. Let me see if I can find all my information to finish plugging in. At least I already had my my video uploaded to YouTube. I'm liking how this is turning out. That's good. I'm glad this is coming out good. But yeah, if you have backed my campaign on Kickstarter, first of all, thank you. And please don't pull it out and change over to Indiegogo. And if you've backed it on Kickstarter, then just carry on. I'm not changing my campaign. I'm just offering the same pre-order deals on a different site. Yeah, just so that more readers will be able to see it. More sites are better. And so far, running a Kickstarter isn't terribly, or well, running a crowdfund, it isn't terribly complex. So I should be able to do this okay. I'll get a notification whenever anybody orders through either of the sites. So it doesn't matter which one you use. You just don't need to do both. I'm not going to be playing favorites, but I will be ending them both on the same day. I need to know how many I need to ship out by May 1st, May 2nd. So the Kickstarter campaign ends at something like 8:03 a.m. on May 2nd. See, I think I can sketch in just a little bit more texture here. And so the funds from that will go to cover printing costs, cover fees, and I'll set aside some for taxes, of course. I hope you got all your taxes done. We do ours early every year, so at least I didn't have to do that too. While trying to make sure as many people as possible know about this comic and how they can pre-order it. Let's see, I have the digital version for $2. The print version will be $3 plus shipping. I also have some posters, and there's still just a couple mystery boxes left. I did not want to ship out a bunch of those. Let me see. I think I can make this whole thing just a bit darker. Yeah, because shipping is just expensive. I mean, fortunately, it was my job back in the day, so I know how to do shipping. I know how to pack things well so that they'll arrive in good shape. Alright, let me zoom out and see how this looks. That looks good. I'm not sure how much time I'll have for today's art stream because Miss Chaos tends to emerge from her room like her door is a starting gate. So I don't have a lot of time before things are likely to get kind of noisy. But yesterday I was able to concentrate a bit off stream because I discovered that if I have my headphones on and I'm playing Lindsey Sterling really loud, I I can ignore just about everything else that's going on in the house. So Lindsay Sterling is a violinist, if you haven't heard her work. Highly recommend. Hello, Pomac X on Twitch. How you doing today? Oh, not bad. I did a stream 8 hours ago after my computer needed a reboot, and I thought, well, not a reboot, but a restart. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't want to get you mixed up with any other Pomacs out there. That sounds good. I haven't had breakfast. I just have coffee. Let's see. So today I'm working on shading. I've already done my flats for this piece. There's what it looks like without the shading. Ah, thank you. Yeah, I didn't get nearly as far with this as I wanted to last night, and I'm going to have to zoom in on the hands here. So I am back at it today, quickly, before other people in this house wake up. And then I got to do stuff. Like, make sure my 8-year-old doesn't attempt to fix breakfast without supervision. Oh, thank you. Babies are a little bit difficult. But I am pretty familiar with babies. Yeah, he was sketched in really lightly. You can see here. Which, you know, you can't really put a lot of detail on babies because I'm not even sure why it is, but when you start putting too many lines on babies, they just end up looking old and freaky. Let's see, I need to get a little smaller with this. So the shading here is not going to stay like this, but I'm going to block in about where it should be and then erase it out. Yeah, when you're drawing babies, it's a lot easier to just go with mass rather than lines. Yeah, I really like how he looks when you get to see his little face. No, down here. There he is. He's all passed out. It's the best kind of baby. Sleeping ones. So my line artist, Mia, yeah, she did a good job on him. I love him. He's so cute. Okay. This hand is drawn just a little bit flat. So it's a little bit tricky to add dimension to it. See, this is right. This is almost right. Oh, yeah, I'm in South Carolina. Yeah, I'm not offended. I know that I talk a little slower than most people in different areas. But you know, there's a wide variety of accents available in the United States. Yeah, I'm not even sure I do a southern accent right. Well, currently we in South Carolina are experiencing the pollinating, and a yearly event which starts in the spring and goes on through most of the summer. It doesn't really snow here. Yeah, so everything is sort of greenish yellow and everyone's a little bit miserable, and it's only going to get worse. Yeah, I turned on the windshield wipers on my car yesterday, day before, and it was gross. It was like this greenish yellow sludge. Got swept over to one side. But, you know, every time it rains, it does wash it down. So not so much of it's in the air. So we've had a few rainy days. Pretty recently we had a bit of a windstorm come through. Those are always a little scary. I didn't hear if it actually got to be a tornado, but I have some trees in the backyard that kind of need to be taken down before something happens. Oh yeah, I haven't actually heard too much about Sweden. I keep thinking Switzerland, but no, you're in Sweden, and Sweden is not landlocked. Well, Sweden's a nice country. But it all kind of gets mixed up if you're not really working with it every day. Yeah, there's worse places to live, I guess. We're pretty lucky. I mean, considering we're both online. And we can actually communicate across the world. That's pretty cool. Let's see. I think I can take a shortcut and just fill some of this. Okay, I don't think I've decided exactly what material this blanket should be made of. I mean, I've decided this is leather and a sort of a pelt of some kind. And I've decided that over here, this is silk. I don't think that cotton is common in the region, in the fantasy realm that I'm writing about. On the other hand, these people are traders. Yeah, I don't know. There's some things that are, yeah, you do want your material that you wrap your baby in to be soft, but you also want it to be washable. So, I don't know. But it does kind of inform the way I shade it. If I know what kind of material it is, I know how much the light's going to catch it. Yeah. You know, my part of the country used to be cotton country. We used to have a lot of cotton mills. But it kind of destroyed the soil. So, like, most of the South is just red mud now, with a few inches of topsoil. So that's the problem with cotton. It has not historically been a cheap material because it's so labor intensive. And it just saps all the nutrients out of the soil. Yeah, wool's a possibility. I mean, you can get different varieties. You know, certain breeds of sheep have a softer wool. I don't know a whole lot about it though. I'll probably have to look it up. Alright. Let's very gently shade his hair. He's going to have very fine hair. Although I can put a nice bigger block of shading around the back of his head. Yeah, I know a little bit about how to process cotton, but not a whole lot about wool. Okay. I mean, I know it has to be carded. Yeah, well, the cotton is, it's kind of the seed pod, and it's got this fluff in it. It looks, like a cotton ball, but it is a little coarser. And there are like the little seeds and stuff in it. But you can tell that it's a fiber. Yeah. So I'm not really basing this world, or well, I'm not trying to reproduce actual history in my fantasy world here, but it is good to know the history of things and how they work. I'm gonna have to erase out on his face too. And even then, there's going to be some things that I get wrong, but as much as I can, I'll try and get it right. Or at least plausible, Well, my tablet has frozen up, and if anybody's watching on Facebook, I'm sorry. I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on with the tech problems lately. Okay, I'm trying to think. It's already unplugged. Although I guess I could turn it off and turn it back on again. Okay, let's see. Exactly how much more do I need to take away from the shading on his face? Babies are hard. There, I think that works. Yeah, it's just like a... Well, it's not an actual Kindle, but it's like one. No! What's it doing? It's doing nothing, that's what it's doing. Yeah, I'll hit restart. Sorry to anybody on Facebook. I would communicate with you if I could. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. Oh no. No, I'm trying to watch chat on several channels because I'm using Restream. Oh, okay. No, the Wacom's doing great. Of course, now I've said that. Yeah, don't tempt the gremlins. Alright, let me back up. Am I missing anything? It might be about time to move down to the next panel. And then I'll have to come back up to this one again and do the highlights, but I'm gonna try to work one layer at a time, because if I work too many layers, if I work in too many at a time, then I start putting the wrong lines in the wrong layers. Alright, a little closer in, maybe not that close. There. Yeah, I'm working way bigger than the finished product's going to be. This is going to be printed in a about 6" by 9" tablet. Oh gracious. I am stuck. Comic. So it's going to be a little bit smaller, I think, than the standard size for comics, but comics really haven't been standardized that long. And this way I get to have it printed on newsprint, and it'll be a lot cheaper. And then I'll be able to afford my own print run. Now, it's not going to be archival quality paper by any means, but it's going to help me get all the way through all 10 of the issues to finish out this story, and that means that at the end of it I will be able to have it printed in a graphic novel, and then I can have, you know, more durable paper for that. I'm going to see how far I can get with just the paint bucket thing. I might erase out some of it. not a whole lot more places to do this. So you mean the line art? Let's see. So my artist, Mia Pierce, I just really loved her style. I saw her work while she was still in college, and I wanted to hire her as soon as possible. So she's been with me working on this project for a while, but I had to stop and start a few times so that I could afford to pay her like a reasonable amount. A lot of people take advantage of artists, especially, if they're in college or if they're just starting out. They don't have much of a reputation, and art is also one of those things there's not a lot of objective standards for it, so that leads to a lack of confidence, and a lack of confidence leads to a lack of paycheck. So I've already been on that side with with writing and with art. So I did not want to be that kind of person. That would devalue an artist to get a better deal on the art. On the other hand, it does mean that my comic has taken a bit longer to bring into reality than a lot of other people. It's not that the art's slow. It's that being able to afford the art is slow. Let me see. Restarting. Facebook over here, so maybe I can see what I'm doing. It's not likely. I did miss somebody. Oh yeah, whenever I hire somebody for one of my projects, which I haven't had the opportunity to hire for too many of them, but I ask, how are you liking the story? Are you interested in it? How do you feel about continuing? Because if they don't find the story interesting, then that's going to come out in their work. And I'd rather not, have somebody working on it who's, not excited about it. I mean, I understand if somebody's having a hard time and they have to pause for a little while. I mean, I even have to do that on my own projects. But, as long as I get communication. That's the key. That's what's good about Mia. I mean, it's even better than the art, which I'm a huge fan of her art. But she communicates. I just got back the thumbnails for the 3 additional pages that we're going to add to the bonus material. So it's like bonus material for the comic. And I just sent her some sketches of what I had in mind, and she's already gotten back with me with like 3 versions of each of the pages, and she's working on them now. And before she's gotten back with me about changing colors, about, well, her schedule just got really crammed, and it was probably graduation when she mentioned that. And that was great too. I mean, I was excited to hear that she was busy and happy, and if she was taking care of other stuff and couldn't get to the work that I had hired her for, then I was happy to hear it, rather than being left wondering, what was going on. Communication is just so important. So, my goal as an artist and as a writer, I'm trying to communicate with people. I see something that's so important, and it's a little hard to put into words. But let me think. My work is hopeful. I mean, there are dark days. But my heroes overcome problems. Things can start off really bad. Whoop. But it's worth persevering and getting through. And I think that currently in various forms of entertainment, there's a tendency to take offense. There's a tendency to see yourself as a victim. And to demand other people make it right. Well, that's not going to happen. Other people can never make right something that you've chosen to take offense to. Because if you're locked in that mindset that other people are in charge of whether you're a victim or not, then you're always going to be a victim. And I think we need heroes, in the sense of people to aspire to. Not in the sense that we want somebody to come and make things right for us, but somebody to become more like. So that's what I write. Not so much, not as specific as a role model, but as an alternative way to look at the world. Just showing that there's more than one way to handle things. So in this story, the symbol is very, in the world of this story, the symbol is very closely tied to the thing, which is what makes magic work. You're using symbolism to affect reality. And so you can open a portal between worlds with the power of longing and sacrifice. But there's also a danger to that. If you can lose everything in grief. So there's some symbolism. Yeah, I do have mostly action, but the way that the magic system works in the world, it's in the background, but it means something. So the story behind this particular scene, let me back up. The blonde lady, she ran away from home because of a tragic and violent circumstance. And she was afraid to return home because she was pregnant. The child is illegitimate. And she was going to try to get it undone because she had heard of a sorceress who could undo such a thing. But she was intercepted on her way by the other lady, and they became friends, and she decided that she wasn't going to try to undo this, that she would find a way to move forward. And so she's been encouraged to go back home, to reconcile with her father, to explain everything, and to try to seek justice rather than pretend it never happened. Which is, in my opinion, a healthier way to deal. And coffee's turning off. And what happens is that if she doesn't return home, her father is going to blame the brunette lady's people for kidnapping his daughter, which is not at all what happened. And that will start a war. My inspiration comes from I don't know. I read a lot. I have always read a whole lot. I probably don't spend enough time in, oh, come on. That was zoomed in too far. Okay. I probably don't spend enough time taking care of stuff in my life because I'm trying to puzzle out what is going on in the world. But I've got to a bit of a philosophy about things. The world is broken. Everyone in it is broken. And we're all just trying to do our best. But growing up, I read a lot of Andre Norton, and I really, really love her work. And her Witch World series was Portal Fantasy, but the first book set in that world that I read was The Crystal Griffin, and she didn't go much into the portal thing then. But I really liked it. There was kind of a Beauty and the Beast dynamic. To it, and it was just really appealing. Yeah, well, I'm a little bit weird in my family because I do read a lot. And I'm trying to gently put in enough shade on this. Yeah, it was a bit much. But I like all kinds of media. I like, I love animation. You know, I would love to make this into an animated series, but that would take a lot more money than a comic book. And I'm barely making it with the comic. You know, people like different stuff. You know, a lot of people, they'll only watch the movie when it comes out. Better hope that there's a movie. Yeah, me too. If I get started on a book, I try to just go ahead and finish it. Okay, let's make his little nose stand out without aging him up any. So it's kind of sad. I know somebody's worked on a novel for months, maybe years, and I settle down with it and I'm done in an hour, maybe 2 hours. But at least I finished. Yeah, I really like to reread as well. But, you know, I don't often have time. I've spent the last 20 years being an adult and I'm still not good at it. Or you'd think I'd be able to have more time to do stuff like read. I'm wondering how much shade is too much. I have been poking at this bit for a little while now, and if I keep going, I might mess it up. Oh no. I'm married. You remember Polar Bear Joe from last time you popped in, right? Yep, he's my husband. He, before I started doing live streams, he was modding for a gamer on mixer. So he stopped in to, see how much was familiar and help me out as well, since he already knew a little bit about it. Ah, no kidding. So at least I can do stuff like stay home, teach kids, do art. But I can't do enough. I guess nothing's ever really enough. I have way more ideas. I'm starting to wonder if I'll be able to write all my ideas in my lifetime. I ain't getting any younger. And I keep getting all these new ideas. Yeah, well, easier said than done. If I don't push myself to finish, then when will I ever? I don't know why I'm getting notifications from my mail. This is the most, well, I don't know. I'm not sure what the most annoying part of Windows 10 is, but I'm pretty sure that that's got to be somewhere in there. Okay, so I think that's about done. Oh yes, and I want to do the texture on the fur here. What color did I use before? Yeah, it was that one. Yeah, and it doesn't play nice with 7. So I have a network set up between my son's computer and the other one that we use for school. And yeah, it's not very compatible. So half the time he has to like come into the next room and make sure that the computer's not asleep, so that the wireless thing will turn on and he'll be able to access his schoolwork. See, I think I can go a lot smaller on this pen. And I'm pretty sure that the problem with it is his computer's on 7 and everything else is converted over to 10 now. Because the whole home network thing got changed. I can't believe I've been able to draw for as long as I have today. Nobody else is up yet. I feel like I'm getting away with something. Let me wring out my wrist though. Remember to blink. Yeah. Yeah, when I come back to this, I'll probably see things that I've missed. Let's see. Should look about like this. Yeah, my husband bought me these blue blocker glasses for Christmas. I think it was Christmas. And what's kind of amazing is that the colors still look the same, but my eyes don't get as tired. And they came with this blue light and a light sensitive card, so you can test them and see that yes, they really do block out blue light. I don't understand how they do that, and I can still see the color blue the same as I can without them, but science. But I've noticed that my eyes don't get strained as easily, and I can actually sleep after working on the computer for a while, so that's good. Apparently they really work. Okay. Maybe I can get these two panels on this page. Before anybody's up. Let's see. I was working on the ones that have some dialogue to them first so that I can go ahead and send them to my letterer. I was unhappy with the angle that I took on these. And that way he'll have something to work on as early as possible. The main comic's done, but this is bonus material, and I really want to have it done so that I can have it printed in time for me to take to the Comic-Con. Everybody's going to get their Kickstarter rewards on time, no matter what. I've allowed enough time for that, but it is going to run it a little close to my deadline for Soda City Comic Con in August. If I can't get this finished and the files ready and sent off by like May 2nd. Okay, I think I'm going to erase out some of this. So, I'm getting close. I might make it. And then I'm going to work on setting up an Indiegogo page, because even though I've already got a Kickstarter, some people don't like Kickstarter. Which I did ask before I started even the Kickstarter campaign. But now at this late date, when I only have 2 weeks left, that's when people say, oh well, yeah, I would back it, but I don't like Kickstarter. Why aren't you on Indiegogo? Okay, well, if that's what the people want. Kickstarter ended up being, so far, less of a big deal than I had thought. So it shouldn't be too difficult to start a Indiegogo campaign as well. So as soon as I get off here, I'll start doing that. And I still haven't updated my website, and I kind of need to. I mean, I don't get a lot of traffic on the website, but if anybody's looking for me and wants to know what I've been working on, that is kind of the most important thing. Okay, let me back out, see if I'm done. Nope, nope, don't back out yet. Almost forgot the trim on the cuffs. Okay, fit to screen. Let's see. So I'm going to have the light in this top panel in the lower, coming from the lower left side. So I do want to throw a bit more of a shadow. Behind this piece of furniture here. See, it would go like this. And then the whole thing needs filled. I think that's not quite even. It's pretty even, but the angle that it would cast is a little more extreme. More like that. Okay, that looks plausible. So I'm gonna have to go probably pretty soon. Miss Chaos will be charging out of her room, ready to seize the day. And my son will be a little slower. But thank you for keeping me company. I appreciate it. Come stop by my Kickstarter. I'm going to see if I can pop in a link. Come on. Any day now. Oh yeah. There it is. But there's the link to my Kickstarter and the Twitch chat. After the stream, I'll pop it in the comments to the other couple places I have this going. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the other realm. Goodbye.